YouTube family and friends. Good afternoon. Um, I'm coming to you with a video presentation, and this video presentation is going to be called. I'm gonna name this um, the the victim's permit, the victim card, which is bigger than the black card. I feel. Um, Today's society propagates and puts those people on a pedestal who claim that they are victims and they're going through things and they've been through things. And a lot of times, these so called victims use victimhood as a crutch to not want to change, not want to grow, not want to forgive. And when you don't do those things, it you yourself become affected to the point where you stay stagnant in your hate, you stay stagnant in um, not wanting to forgive anybody, not wanting to understand anybody else but yourself in your situation. Um, our young people and a lot of our older people as well are too fond of claiming something that they really not about, or it doesn't fit them, right? Yes, people go through things. Yes, people struggle with things. Everybody's been through something, right? Everybody's been through something. Everybody has been hurt to a point where it has been hard for them to get over, but they get over and they prosper and they do better. You have a lot of individuals who want to cling to this victimhood mentality, and they don't want to let go. And when that happens, you have loved ones who suffer. People that love them, people who want to see them prosper and do better, they suffer because people who claim to be these victims, people who claim to not be able to or not want to change because they've been through this and this person's done this to them and they didn't have this in their life. And I mean, they're so focused on that to the point where everything is about them. They can speak to anybody how they want to speak to. Speak to them. They can treat anybody how they want to treat them, all because they're struggling or they've been through this and they've been through that. And they're claiming to be this huge victim that everybody needs to understand. What if every person that's ever been through hardship and struggle thought like you and didn't want to get past anything they've been through? And there's real victims out here. There's people who have really been through things out here and they've overcome it. There's people who've lost parents. There's people who've lost complete support structures. There's people who've lost houses, lost careers. I mean, took huge losses and still overcame. Didn't allow these things to allow these things to attach themselves to their personality, and they didn't carry it with them. Too many times people carry all this hurt and this pain and this baggage, and everybody has to deal with it other than the person that's carrying it. And they use it as an excuse to not to elevate themselves, not to want to grow, not to want to see past your hurt, your pain, your struggle, all these things that you feel like you've been through that overshadows everything else. And now you want to stay stagnant in your garbage, and you want to treat everybody and anybody around you any kind of way because, well, I'm going through something. I've been through this. I've been through that. Who cares? Nobody cares. The real world doesn't work like that, sweetheart. Or ma'am, sir, the real world doesn't care, as it shouldn't. The world don't stop for nobody. Okay? And for a lot of people who claim to be this huge victim, they have so much going for themselves that they don't want to see the positive things that they have in their life because they're so wrapped up in all these things that they've been through in their past, and they don't want to let it go. They feel like if I let this go, then the person who hurt me is going to win. No, it's not even for them. It's for you. It's for you. When you forgive people and you truly let go of things, it's for you. You get to move forward and you see life in another way. But if you continue to hold on to these things that you've gone through, then you're going to stay stagnant, and the same people that have hurt you or that have caused you harm 10, 20 years from now, they're going to be way past you. They're not even going to be thinking about what you say that you're going through. They're not even going to care, because they've moved past that in their life, and they've overgrown whatever that they've done to hurt you. They've overgrown. They're not even that same person no more. But you're that same person, because you're letting go. You're holding on to all the pain and the hurt and the frustration and the anger. You're holding on to it, and you don't want to let it go. You're holding on to it like a coat in the winter, and you don't want to let it go, because you feel like, and sometimes people just lazy. They don't want to let it go because being a victim is easier. It's easier to sit on your butt and not want to do nothing for yourself, or not want to think for yourself, because I'm a victim and you got to understand what I'm going through. So it's your fault, not my fault. I'm a victim. That victim card, when you go out into the real world, will get towed up. The real world doesn't care about none of that. If you're not gonna get over it, then it's gonna then it's gonna walk on you. If you don't get over all this garbage that you claim onto, that you hang on to as a victim, it's gonna sink you. You're gonna sink like the Titanic, and you're not gonna come back up. You're gonna be the very same thing that's hurt you. You're gonna become that, and you're never gonna elevate above it. And this also goes for people who enable them. There's people out here who enable this mentality of, I'm a victim. So there's people who support that. There's people who say, here's your crutch. Lean on that crutch your whole life. Don't take no responsibility or accountability for anything you said or anything you've done, because you have this crutch. The same people putting that crutch there are the same people who are not going to want to deal with it when you lean on it. I guarantee you the same people who support that mentality of, I'm a victim, they're not going to want to deal with you at the end of the day. Let you start crying and really complaining, they're not going to deal with you. They're going to be like, hey man, go somewhere else with that garbage. But you gave me the crutch though, that you enabled me to have this crutch. So enablers of victims are really just as bad. And when these so-called victims really sit down and really think about their situation and what they've gone through, and they compare it to other real victims who've really been hurt and traumatized and went through real tribulation, they realize, yo, I ain't been through nothing. I haven't been through anything. Or they don't say that. They amplify their garbage just to be able to amplify their victimhood, or they'll do that. I don't know. You're not a bigger victim than I am. You haven't gone through what I've gone through. So this is a tough message, but it's real. You know, everybody deals with people like this. Everybody has dealt with people like this, but everybody doesn't know how to deal with people like this. They don't know how to pull the crutch from somebody so they can just land on the ground and pick themselves up, because that's what they need. There's a lot of people who don't want to allow victims or so-called victims to really hit rock bottom so they can pick themselves up and learn how to pick themselves up. When you enable somebody, you're doing them a disservice. You're doing them a disservice. You're babying them, and you won't let them get off the milk. You know what I'm saying? There's an old saying, it's either squat or get off the pot. You know what I'm saying? And that's real. That's really, really real. In 2023, it sucks, but society really supports people who want to claim this victimhood thing, because society knows it's going to stunt you and it's going to keep you in that same spot, emotionally and physically, for years and years and years. And when the world surpasses you, everything surpasses you, and you look back on your life and you realize you didn't have it as bad as you thought you did, you had an amazing support system, you just wanted to be selfish, and you wanted to be arrogant, and you wanted to be disrespectful, and you just wanted to just think about yourself and nobody else, and you didn't care about where everybody else is coming from, you don't care how you hurt people, you're going to want to wish you did things different. You're going to want to wish you did things different, but sooner or later, nobody's going to deal with you, nobody's going to want to deal with you, nobody's going to want to be around you, because sooner or later, they're going to have to deal with your raggedy, miserable attitude. And that's real. That's real. Even your soul, man, I'm telling you, even the very people who support your mentality are eventually going to want you to kick rocks, because now they have to deal with it. And you know, this is going to be a tough message for some people. And you know, if the shoe fit, wear it, man. If the shoe fit, wear it, straight up. When I was doing my garbage, I didn't like to hear it, but it was the truth. I didn't like to be put on Front Street, but I had to be put on Front Street. Because if I wasn't put on Front Street, I would have been got comfortable, and I wouldn't want to change anything. So, victims, so-called victims, and your enablers, y'all need to get it together. And I'm talking about anybody and everybody who this message applies to. Got to get it together, because you gotta let people walk. You gotta let people get up and walk and fall and get up and fall and get up again. You got to, or else they're never gonna learn anything, and life is gonna kick them in the ass, straight up. Excuse my French, but it is. Life is gonna kick them in the ass, and they're not gonna learn how to. Once they take a punch, they're not gonna learn how to know how to react, because people have been coddling you your whole life, or a good part of your life, and you haven't had to take responsibility for anything, but just being a victim and crying and whining and feeling like it's everybody else's fault but mine. That's a dangerous mentality. It's a dangerous way to live, and you're never going to truly grow. You're just going to sink. So that's really all I wanted to say today. It's just something I feel like I had to get off my chest. But in the real world, there's no place for victims. And when you claim a victim mentality and you claim that, oh, I've been through all this, and so I'm gonna just live in it, not forgive, and treat everybody the same way, and treat everybody as if they're out to get me, they're out to hurt me, and I don't want to move past anything, you're going to live in that space forever, for the rest of your life, and you're going to be mentally in a cage, and you're not going to come out of it. And it's going to be a messed up life. It's going to be a hard life. But you don't realize, if you would just put forth the effort to come up out of that, when people are telling you, informing you to come up out of that, and you enablers, get off the stop, put the bottle down, put the baby to bed, and get up and you know, take the crutch from them, you know, and tell them and keep it real with them, and make them accept responsibility. But when you don't, you create a baby, and that baby will never get off the Similac. So, all right, that's really all I wanted to say. I'm gonna do some more work here pretty soon, and I'm gonna put up some more presentations. Like I said, I just been, just been going through a little bit, and my time is not as numerous. I don't have a lot of free time like I used to. So I'm really putting my free time into what's more important, like house stuff, other things that are important as well. So I hope everybody has a blessed day. Enjoy your family, enjoy your loved ones, and Man, progress. Progress is better than no grass. Yeah, I just made that up. But just try to be better every day. All right, peace.